YouTube, welcome back to Grim. You know, it's been way too long since we've seen a kid that just downright can't behave on Dr. Phil's show, so today we're meeting with this child that goes so ham when he's angry that his parents just refuse at this point to tell him no. Keep watching to see if they can get the help they need before he turns into a mini version of the Hulk or something. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but anyways, without further ado, let's hear about this family and see what their son is like.
Mom Denise says she had to quit her job just to watch her son full-time 24/7.
Sheesh, so we haven't even met this kid yet. From what I just heard, I think it's safe to say he's quite the handful and proving to be the biggest headache ever for his parents and everyone around that has to help parent this child. Not sure if they ever were even in a place financially where she could just up and leave her job like that, but it sounds like it didn't really matter either way. She just had to quit her job at that time so she could focus on raising this kid, because with the way things were going, if something didn't change quick, they're about to have a big problem on their hands that is full of rage and is gonna be way stronger than them soon.
Now, currently, Denise and her husband Jared are living with Jared's parents to get even more boots on the ground.
Bro, they had to call in the grandparents for backup on this one. That's when you know this kid is just not someone you want to mess with. I mean, he looks like an absolute tank too, so I'm sure that doesn't help things. I mean, kid is probably able to overthrow most adults, and he's only 10 years old. Just imagine when he's super angry, like he's got to have super strength or something, dude. I can't imagine it's very fun to come home from a long day of work and take a gamble on if you're walking into an actual rage fit when you step into your front door. This kid's throwing around plants left and right, as you can see, and causing a storm in this house, so you can't do anything but come home and just have to deal with it. I mean, people often act like they would be so much better than these parents that are on this show, and I'm sure a lot of people would have more patience, but I can see why this dad says that he kind of just stays out of it, since I would not have the energy myself to deal with that mess either after working for a bunch of time most days, you know? I know this kid's only 10, but it's still sad to see that he's running around like a giant toddler, and they allow him to do that just because everyone's too scared to tell him. Okay, right there is where I would be trying to get this kid immediate help. I can't have him running around with random kitchen utensils trying to chase down his siblings. Like, bruh, we gotta get that kid some serious help right now. He almost sounds like a danger to be around, and when you combine that with the fact that he threatens them non-stop, I think the parents have something to really fear on their hands. I would say skip Dr. Phil for now and get some more intensive help, because it sounds urgent if you ask me, dude.
We have tried to discipline Zach, but it'll just make him even more angry.
Apparently they don't know of an effective way to discipline him then, because he legit can't take no for an answer, like I was saying. So how about a new approach? You know, there's like 100 possible strategies to get your kids to listen that people have devised over the years, and it just takes some reading and application to do, but I think these parents must only resort to yelling or just fully giving up once he puts up a fight. It's clearly not working though, so let's try one of the other 99 possible options, like having patience and diffusing the situation. It's stuff like this that gives this kid an inflated ego and allows him to think that he just downright rules this house, which that is not the case, my dude. Well, actually it is the case, because he truly does rule this house currently, but besides that, he shouldn't just expect to get a separate meal made every day just because he's a picky eater. When I was growing up, if you didn't like what was made for you for dinner, you were more than welcome to make your own thing, but I mean, if not, it was made for you, so enjoy your darn food and be thankful. And that's what I think they should tell this kid. I think you might be right on that one. Look, you called him a monster, not me. I'm definitely going to say that this is one of the more angry and out of control little kids that I've seen on Dr. Phil's show though, and that's really saying something. Like, think of the other children we've seen on this show. It gets bad, but he might be one of the worst. I have to cut out so many clips of this edit because I simply can't put them in. Like, there would be so many missing words from all the little bleeps they had to put in that you wouldn't even understand what the kid was saying half the time. He's pretty much just like a pirate with anger problems.
You called the police 3 times.
I have.
Because it's gotten to the point where you said, I need additional physical help.
Correct.
So I do feel pretty bad for this mom. I mean, she had to take an L and quit her own job just to stay home full time with this kid like we were talking about earlier. And when they get into arguments, he gets so off the chain that she's had to call in support from local law enforcement pretty much, you know, to calm down. And I don't think this is the case of her just being a worrywart either. I'm sure the last thing she wants to do is get the cops involved with stuff like this, but she didn't know any other way, it sounds like. And he was going on an absolute rampage, so she's had to call them a few times. Pretty sad.
This is a very smart young man. He's smart enough to recognize how to divide and conquer. And he's playing the 4 of you like a fiddle.
So Dr. Phil is not wasting any time with telling these people how they are not helping the situation one bit, and I knew this was coming. I mean, a kid doesn't just start acting like this out of the blue. It sounds like every adult in his life has had a hard time of telling him no, or just doesn't know how to react when he has these outbursts, so as a result, he just pops off even more and gets his way afterwards. It's like rewarding bad behavior, so now he just expects to get his way whenever he does get angry. This negative feedback loop is just allowing him to dominate this household with 4 other adult people that are all supposed to be the ones telling him what to do, but instead it's flipped now to where it's the other way around somehow, and that's not how things should be.
He does what he does for effect. This is not just him being out of control. He is very much in control.
I think everyone thought this kid was just a gentle giant, you know, that gets angry sometimes, but has a kind heart behind it. But it sounds like Dr. Phil has other ideas on the kid. I mean, he's not just simply getting angry, he's legit screaming out things to his parents that would probably get you locked away in some countries just for saying it out loud. He's not a nice little boy by any means. Like, he is absolutely ruthless when he gets annoyed, as you've seen, to where he can now just rule his household with an iron fist, since everyone cowers in fear as soon as he starts to fly off the handle.
One thing that has to happen is he has to see the 4 of you as one.
Not sure how they didn't think this through in the first place when they all realized this little troublemaker was ruling over them through his various freakouts. I mean, if the 4 of them were just on the same page for 1 minute and all agreed to not let him continue to act this way, then they would see an instant improvement, I bet. But for example, maybe the dad is stern to him and then he runs and cries or freaks out at grandma and she gives him what he wants. That's what's happening right here, and even if that one person is the weak link in this defense, he's just gonna go right through that every time. He's a smart kid and everyone's treating him like he's not smart enough to realize this stuff. I'm sure he's hype about the power he has in this house because he gets away with whatever he wants. I mean, I wish I had that when I was 10, but I guess it's probably good I didn't scream at my parents all the time, though, now that I think about it. Yo guys, before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works.
And right now, all 4 of you are parenting for your own comfort instead of his well-being. You're giving in to him to keep him quiet.
I'm glad Dr. Phil is telling them this because it's all definitely true. They're parenting out of guilt and don't like the feeling of making him sad or angry, and it's easier to just give in and let him stomp around like an angry little Goomba, since this is less work than actually working with him and teaching him how to handle things like a grown-up. They have this child behavior person come into the house and show him how to make his bed, since apparently they don't even make him make his own bed, and this lady is talking to him with patience and it's actually working. So it goes to show to me that these people just don't know how to talk to the kid that well, and they give in way too easily. Bad combo. They're failing to parent this kid, and it's weird that the grandparents are allowing him to do this in their own house too. Like, you'd think they would have figured this out after raising one of these people fully already. I guess you gotta consider the fact though that they probably hold back, since it's sometimes thought of as not the grandparents' place to be disciplining the kids. I guess that kind of just depends on the family, but I think it's totally fair if he's living in your house, but that's just me.
You're giving in to him to keep him quiet. He starts throwing a tantrum, you cave so he will stop.
Dr. Phil's explaining to them that by giving up on these little battles with him, that they are just building up his ego more and more and expanding his power throughout his family to where it has grown so much that he can practically do whatever he wants without any consequences, and he knows it. That's why he's stomping around and screaming all day, and that's why he knows he can continue to act out. Parenting takes work, and I think it's more work than a lot of people can realize when they have kids. And sometimes, as much as you don't like it, you've got to be the bad guy, at least in your own kid's eyes, and lay down the law. There's ways of doing it where you don't aggravate the kid more, and you could diffuse a situation while still denying their request or teach them a lesson at the same time. And these people just don't understand that.
Set him off even worse.
For fast food. I've got it on tape.
That situation was in the car and we were headed home and he hadn't had anything to eat, so he was hungry.
What's annoying is these people fully admitted in the earlier tape that Dr. Phil is, quote, their last option. They claim that they will be open to anything he says in order to get help repairing their family and getting this kid to, settle down. Yet the whole time he's been talking, they're butting in with excuses, trying to repaint the picture here, even though it's clear as day what's going on. There's no point in trying to lie or cover up the fact that you've been parenting out of guilt, and if you're not going to listen to anything Dr. Phil says, then why even be on his show?
Yeah, but see, we're all one. So you can't criticize them because that's criticizing you, because we're all one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what?
Wow, I really just think the mom wanted some extra clout or something by being on his show, because she was definitely not here to listen to any of his actual input. She's talking back and looking at him so sassy and angrily right now, like he's exposing her. But look, sis, we already knew that you weren't that good of a parent. It's clear to see if you look at the way your 10-year-old kid has been acting. So let's get past the ego part of this and just listen to what Dr. Phil has to say, since you say this is your last option. Oh well, hopefully one of the other 3 adults that are here were listening throughout this, and they can help raise this kid, and maybe they'll have the breakthrough and realize that it's just as easy as telling him no and sticking to it. Let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments below, and let me know if you guys think that this family is going to actually be able to change after being on this show today. I have doubts about that. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, peace out.